Vice President Kamala Harris and President Joe Biden are meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in Washington today.
That's right. Harris is coming off quite a big day on the campaign trail. She discussed her economic policies in a speech at the Economic Club of Pittsburgh. We carried this for you live yesterday. She told supporters there that she wants to cut taxes for the middle class, but told MSNBC too much wealth has gone to the rich.
We're going to have to make sure that the biggest corporations and billionaires pay their fair share. That's just it. It's about paying their fair share.
Trump's campaign released a statement in response to her speech yesterday, saying in part she's failed to prove herself while blaming her for inflation.
Meantime, former President Donald Trump is headed to Michigan tomorrow. His running mate J.D. Vance was in the Great Lakes state last night, getting voters ready for his arrival. CBS News political correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns joins us now on set in Studio 57 with the latest on the race for the White House. We love to call you CHB. It's always great to have you here.
In NYC with you guys. Great to see you.
Let's begin with the Harris campaign. Republicans and critics in general have pressured her for specifics when it comes to her economic opportunity policies. What is she doing about that?
Right. She has been pressed for specifics. She's only been the candidate for a couple of months, and people want to know what her policies are that would be different from Biden. Now, she has talked about how to pay for some of her suggestions, which are raising taxes on those making over $400,000 a year, raising the corporate tax. She says she wants to cut some red tape when it comes to building homes. She says she wants to extend a child tax credit and some other items. But what yesterday was really about was offering these specifics, a blueprint to kind of get at the idea that in polling, the economy remains Trump's biggest strength. We have seen, however, in our polling that came out last weekend, that she is narrowing the gap a little bit with Donald Trump because people's perceptions of their personal economy are getting a little bit better. So if that improves, her numbers seem to be kind of tied to that. So this was her way of addressing it. Now, Trump's proposals on the economy have been very different. He has been talking about paying everything with tariffs. And that has also been interesting because you've had some traditional Republicans, conservative Republicans like Mitch McConnell say, we don't really like a tariff policy because we're concerned, of course, about that being passed on to the consumer. So the main takeaway here is that the economy is front and center, and it's all about people's perceptions of their own personal finances and how they're doing, even if the data suggests that the economy may be improving.
Makes sense.
Let's talk a little bit about Ukraine, because as we mentioned that the vice president is meeting with Zelensky. We thought that the former president was going to be meeting with him as well. Now it looks like that's unlikely to happen. We also hear Trump making some comments about the Ukrainian leader. What can you tell us about that? And how it's being received by other Republicans as well?
It's a fascinating dynamic here because you have Trump saying probably the most critical things he's said about Zelensky yesterday, and essentially, saying the point that he thinks that Ukraine should give up some of this territory. That's in response to Zelensky in an interview being critical of Trump. And we saw Trump really take offense to that, kind of viscerally take offense to that in those words. The base of the Republican Party has been, for a while now, very resistant to continuing to spend money on Ukraine. Even though defense budgets are separate from domestic budgets, the base of the Republican Party believes that they don't want to be spending all this money. They want to be spending more money here and securing the border. You hear that common refrain. Donald Trump has tapped into that. J.D. Vance has tapped into that. There is a small faction, though, the Mitch McConnell-type Republicans, who are very opposed to this idea that Donald Trump has and want to keep continuing. So you've had this dichotomy on Capitol Hill versus on the campaign trail. But even Republican leaders like Mike Johnson, they have started to become very critical of Ukrainian leadership as well.
All right. Caitlin Huey-Burns, thank you.
Thanks, Caitlin.